Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. We're going to stay in mid-Michigan for the third part of our series, measuring vacancy rates in the capital area. A great way, by the way, to chart the economic well-being, I guess, of an area. We have with us right now Carson Patten, who's Vice President Retail Advisor, and Samantha Lee, who's the Senior Associate Retail Advisor, both from Martin Commercial Properties. Good to have you folks on. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So let's talk about retail vacancies and what's happened. I understand they've dropped a little bit.
Yes, retail vacancies, they have dropped a little bit. Our industry is always changing. There's always flexibility. And so we publish these really amazing biannual insights, market insights that reflect not only the vacancy rates, but also absorption rates, what new retailers are coming onto the market.
Right. And usually when we break down those market insights, we separate each portion of Greater Lansing into different submarkets. So what was interesting that we noticed is the East submarket, which comprises of East Lansing and Okemos. They actually increased in vacancy, and the reason for that is mostly due to the Rite Aids and the Big Lots closing. But overall, we've seen a lot of activity, and the general vacancy rates in whole in the Greater Lansing market have decreased, which has been great to see.
So you can break it out by section, and some sections are doing better than others. How about by type of retailer? Is there any significance in differences between types of retailers?
Yeah, so not only in our market, but nationally, we often see retailers what we call working on right sizing, so finding the right size footprint for them. So that leans into some larger format retailers, maybe reducing their footprint, like the Burlington over in the West submarket, reducing from 75,000 square feet down to around 25,000 square feet. And then we do see some additional closures of retailers, but there are some retailers that are doing excellent.
Right. Restaurant and entertainment concepts seem to be booming right now. And you look at Frandor, you see Party City recently announced that they were closing. And from what we've heard, there is a line of additional retailers that are looking to potentially backfill those spaces just because the size works for them.
Definitely. And the entertainment and restaurant uses, what we're generally seeing is that retail, especially above office and industrial, is a very consumer driven specialty. And so it adapts with the consumer. And so when we see restaurant uses and entertainment uses doing really well, the consumer is valuing that experiential retail. They're not necessarily always looking for just another object to buy, right? They're really valuing that experience, especially in a post-COVID environment of being with other consumers.
And then a big adjustment retailers have made is incorporating more of an omni-channel experience. So having an online presence, but they still recognize that the brick and mortar locations drive a lot of their business. But that's why you're seeing a lot of right sizing with different square footages.
You guys have afforded me a perfect segue to the next question.
Love a segue. We love a segue.
Well, let's get through it. Build a suit. Tell us what that is and how that relates to developers and retailers kind of working together to meet that consumer need.
Yeah, generally a build-to-suit project is a lease project where a developer will build out a building for a tenant and then they lease it. There's also ground leasing opportunities where the tenant will go in and build their own building, but the developer will deliver utilities or what have you and still own the land, and that's a rent structure as well. However, with that, there's been a lot of development activity. We're seeing it closer to Eastwood along South Cedar Street near Delta Crossings and
Samantha. Yes, definitely. And with the build to suit, in our market, there's this unique opportunity because it's not as dense and infill as some other potentially larger markets. We're really what we call a growth market, right? So there's land out there for these larger scale developments, as well as a growing population. So we're seeing our MSA grow And some of these new developments, it's very unique because it integrates not only retail, but it's mixed use. So it integrates retail, it integrates multifamily. Some of that multifamily can be traditional multifamily, it can be senior housing, hotels, yep, exactly, potentially office spaces. So we're seeing developers really kind of take that into mind as well.
And
All
as
right, we got about 45 seconds left, Carson, and we're going to hear from both of you. Your prognostication. How do you see 25 unfolding?
I think we envision retail vacancy continuing to decrease. You look at the national vacancy rate, and nationally retail vacancy is sub 4%. We're at about 16%. And with the activity and new development in the market, we continue to see that decrease over time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can continue to follow. I would definitely encourage everyone to download our market insights on our website, martincommercial.com, under insights, because it has some really good publicly available information there. And that's what we provide to all of our clients, is that industry knowledge. So we would love to share that with everyone and have them download that.
Well, and we use it here at the Michigan Business Network as well. You're aware of that. It really is good stuff. Hey, Carson Patten, thanks so much for joining us. Retail advisor with Martin Commercial Properties, and Samantha Lee, always good to see you. Senior associate retail advisor with Martin Commercial Properties. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.